Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman. This is a very special bonus podcast. Not just one PGA Tour pro playing this week at the Travelers Championship, but two. Jason Day coming up after the break. But for right now, Max Homa is on the line. Max, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, no problem. Glad to be here. It's cool to open for somebody. I feel like a rock star.
Yeah, for sure. You are the lead act here. This is necessary. You get the people all riled up. You get them all hot and bothered. You know, get the day showing or the night showing real well.
I love it.
Cool, brother. So you are in Connecticut. We were just chatting. It's Travelers Championship week. This event seems to always get rave reviews from players, fans, and everybody alike. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I feel like it's finally getting its due. You know, the course is awesome. I think most of the players would say this is a very underrated golf course. The tournament does a great job. I think that's probably why so many people rave about it. They just make it easy for us. It's fun. But yeah, it's just the course. The finales have been amazing. Jordan Spieth sticks out when he holds that bunker shot. I mean, it produces some fun finishes. Got a great, final 5 or 6 holes. So, yeah, it's finally getting its due. I'm glad it is because I love coming here.
I've watched that replay of the Jordan Spieth hole out and the slow motion celebration count too many times to even count, which I'm glad you brought up. I mean, it's just you to me feel like a golf fan. Obviously, it is your profession, but like when you aren't playing on a weekend, seemingly are you tuning in and watching? Like you like this stuff.
Yeah, not every week, but I got a lot of friends out here. Obviously, I'm around these guys all the time. So especially if my friends are in the mix, I'll watch. Or if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch. It's just I like golf. I feel like some people don't like to say that the players don't like to say that they're fans of it, but I am. I enjoy watching. I feel like I learn a little bit watching the guys, even when I miss a cut or something. But it's nice to just keep up with what everybody's doing. And yeah, it's just entertainment for me. I mean, if I'm flipping on TV and golf's on, I'll probably at least tune in for a little bit.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. Most guys don't want to admit that they're fans or they just want to get away from it when they're not playing. 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. I think that's Eastern time.
Yes.
I'm on Pacific time. So I'm always doing the calculations here. If you could only play for the rest of your career, the AM PM or the PM AM wave, what would you prefer? Would you like the Thursday morning, Friday afternoon, or the opposite?
We wrestle with this a lot. I like the afternoon than morning because I feel like if you're hot, you get to just kind of get right back on the course. And if you're cold, you can get home Friday afternoon.
Okay, that's a good point.
So it's not a bad trade-off.
I've asked that to a couple other guys, and no one gave me the answer that was, if I'm playing poorly, I get to get home quick. I have not heard that one yet.
I've missed enough cuts, man. I've thought this through.
That's so good. Well, you've also made a lot of cuts, Max. You've also won golf tournaments. You're currently, do you know what your current world golf ranking is? And do you care?
Yeah, I care. It's 40.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you ever think, wow, there's only a handful of guys better than me at this right now, right? Like you are in the upper echelon of something that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. I did it in college. I keep up with what my rank was. And then, in professional golf, it's no different. And it's funny because the higher you get, you can appreciate it more, but it's also more motivating knowing there's only 39 more guys I got to pass to get to the top. And, it's almost tougher, it's obviously tougher mentally when you're, 200, 300, 1,000, whatever. It just feels very unattainable. And like I said, as I've gotten up here to 40, I think my lowest has been 37. I keep track of it because I like to use it to motivate me and to know that, like I said, there's only 39 guys, at the moment that I got to get past, and it makes me want to work harder, win more golf tournaments because, it's obviously fun playing good golf, and it's really fun seeing your name kind of tick up that board.
I love it. That's awesome. So 40th best golfer in the world. Is there anything in your rest of your life that you think you are better at than golf? So I'll give you an example. I think I'm better than you. I think I'm better at spreading cream cheese on a bagel than you are at golf. Is there anything that you are better at golf at?
So, wow. I'm really good at hand cleaning dishes. I'd say it's up there. Yeah, hand cleaning dishes. I'm not dude, I'm not good at a lot. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like a great cook or anything, but I would say, yeah, I would say cleaning dishes would be my thing I'd probably flex on people with if it wasn't for golf.
I'm not sure how much of a flex the cleaning the dishes is, but I'm over here flexing spreading cream cheese. So I think
I feel like we're in the same boat here.
I think we're okay. You mentioned keeping track of your official world golf ranking for motivational purposes. Does that extend to your other metrics? How heavy do you look at your strokes gain numbers? Maybe your proximities? Is it noise? Do you look at something and say, hey, I can be better here. I need to practice that. Where does it fall in?
Yeah, 100%. I keep up with that. There is some variance in that one, so I don't get too strung up on it, or too hung up on it. But at the beginning of the year, we had certain goals we'd like to hit, and then with those stats, and then trying to keep tabs on that helps. And then even a couple weeks ago, talking to my caddy, we'll go through certain stats. He's like, "Yo, you can't. You should be better here. Like just watching you play, you should be better here. So we need to make sure that we're doing what we can to improve." But in general, my short game around the greens hasn't been good the last 3 years, and it hasn't been great this year. So that was kind of the goal coming into this season, or at least in 2021, was to up that number. And it has signs of life here and there. It hasn't really produced the numbers yet, but I know that's getting better. So that's one I look at quite often, at least week to week, to see if I'm kind of rolling in the right direction.
Do you ever worry that, trying to put more time into your short game, for example, might take away from other parts of your game? Is that a concern for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. 100%. I definitely noticed that back in the day when I was struggling, when if I would spend too much time on my driver, which was like the serious piece that was off. When I would drive it well, my wedges and my putting would be kind of not so good. So you definitely have to have a plan. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've developed a pretty good system of how to practice and how not to overwork one area. But even, today was a good example of this. I mean, we went to the course early. I chipped for a while, did bunkers, all that stuff around the greens. Then I hit balls, putt. And then on my way back out, I went and chipped a little bit more. So just trying to maybe like add a little bit more emphasis to it without, like you just mentioned, without kind of ruining maybe your strength of your game.
Sure. If I could grant you the power to swap short games with someone on tour, who would that be?
Jason Day coming up is a good one. He's amazing. Patrick Reed is amazing as well. Those are two of my favorite chippers to watch. And yeah, if I had that, I think, I'd have less people to pass at the moment.
Oh, yeah, good point. Very cool. Okay. I know you're a big baseball fan. Baseball's got themselves a little bit of a sticky situation right now.
Nice. See what you did there.
Thank you. Is there something that is the equivalent in golf? Not that guys are out there in the gray area of rules, but like when I see lead tape on clubs, and I'm always like, how is that legal? But like everybody's out there doing it. Is there something that we don't know as casual viewers that everybody's using out there?
That's a good one. I never thought about lead tape being kind of sketchy.
It just looks sketchy, Max. It just looks sketchy.
It does, 100%. These greens books that they're getting rid of, I feel like that was a little bit sketchy. One trick, no one does it. I mean, you wouldn't do it on tour. It's not only cheating, but it wouldn't help a ton. But if you ever put chapstick or Vaseline on your driver face, you can smoke it. It's like you catch a flyer off the tee, no spin, high and far. So no one would do that in a tournament, but I've done it like at home for fun, and it's wild. So that would be our closest to like the sticky situation that baseball's got themselves in. But I don't know, man. Maybe lead tape is like the weird one that we just kind of are allowed to do, and no one really talks about it.
Can we? Okay, I guess explain. It changes either what the
swing weight.
Yeah.
As you're trying to tweak regular weight. I've only ever used it. I used it in college, maybe, or high school on my putter, because at that point they weren't just sending me free weights for my putter, so I needed to fix it somehow. So some people put it on like the back, but I never got deep into that.
Putter makes sense to me.
I just saw it today, and I was like, oh yeah, there's some lead tape. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I always see guys, it's like on the back of their irons or whatever. I'm like, maybe I should invest that. Maybe I should invest in Vaseline. I need to start ripping balls off the tee. I'm not worried about PGA Tour rules. That's all good.
Right.
How about this? you are basically you are the only guy on tour, I guess one of the few, that really kind of crosses over into our world, the podcasting world. You kind of get to see it from both sides, obviously with Shane Bacon on Get a Grip. How has that been for you to kind of, I don't want to say get on the other side of the table, but to go out there, talk about golf in your spare time, be part of the podcasting world?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's hard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I feel for you, man. It's a grind. Shane makes it like incredibly easy. I do very little. But yeah, I just find it good in general to like see something from the other side of the lens a little bit. I get to view golf as an entertainment product and not a competition at times. And I just think that helps for perspective at times, and also just in the grand scheme of just being a well-rounded golfer. I feel like it gives me a different way to look at everything. I don't know if it's, life-changing by any means, but it's good. I feel like it gives me more things to kind of connect with the fans on and try to see what they're going through, trying to grind out watching golf on a Saturday or Sunday. And yeah, when I play, obviously it kind of goes out the window, but just in general, I have obviously way more friends who don't play professional golf than do. And so it's always nice to kind of get to, chop it up with them and talk about the same stuff that Shane and I would talk about.
Is that a common thing for you? I mean, you seem to be a very thoughtful guy, trying to get a bunch of information from all sides and see it from different viewpoints and use stats or metrics as goals. Do you consider yourself a thoughtful person?
I try to be. I've always, tried to be like respectful of others and try to see what they're going through before I maybe make a rash judgment, I guess. And then, when you're watching sports, at times it's hard to do. I get mad at Kenley Jansen if he doesn't strike out the side end a game. I've gotten mad at my guy Alex Caruso if he like missed a dunk or something, like, in general, I try and see it from the right way, I guess, see it from their perspective. So in golf, it's easy because when I watch somebody struggling on the course and people are bashing them on the internet, I can be like, all right, I'm going to go explain on my podcast if they want to listen,
right,
what exactly was going through their head. And I think that helps me in general to kind of slow down my kind of think before I speak.
I love it. Smart. I know we got to get you out of here. I got two more quick ones for you and we'll get you on with your day. Are you upset that Bryson and Brooks are trying to get your hard-earned PIP dollars away from you?
No, man, they deserve it. They're killing it. I'm proud of this. They're doing a great job. It's the animosity is good in golf at times and it's really working. We got two of our best and brightest kind of beefing a little bit. They're also our biggest, which helps a lot because it makes it seem a lot cooler than we probably are. So I like it. It's been fun just to watch. Again, as a fan, it's fun to watch them have their kind of back and forth.
And then finally, what I like to ask everybody is if you could change one rule about golf, what could it be? And I'll just, while you're thinking about that, we've had like, hey, you can use one mulligan a week. You get to choose when to use it. Doc Redman said he wanted to be able to move his ball 12 inches over the course of a tournament. So if he left one on a lip, he could use 1 inch to move it in and he'd still have 11 inches left. I mean, some of you guys think a lot about this. So
wow. I love one mulligan a week.
Yeah.
Just one. I asked myself that driving home or on the flight. I'm always like, can I just have that one shot back? Like just one. And so maybe I'll just take one mulligan a week. You got to play it right, but
yeah, maybe you want to use it on Thursday for something really scary, but you might want to save it.
But you got to hold on for dear life after that.
There you go. Awesome stuff, Max. Good luck this week. Good luck every week. Really appreciate you coming on and spending some time.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Big thanks to Max for joining us again. That is via Gillette. You can go to nextgengolf.org/city-tour to join Max as part of the 72 Club. You have a chance to win prizes and VIP experiences throughout the summer. And of course, make sure to follow Max on all social. If you're not, what are you doing? Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. Plenty of more announcements to come. Let's take a break and talk to Jason Day. All right, and we are back now. Very special guest. Not only is he a 12-time PGA Tour winner, not only is he your 2015 PGA champion, but 51 weeks atop the world rankings. It's Jason Day. Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, mate. Just shy of 1 year, but you know what? I'll take it.
So far, those are not final numbers. I had this whole thing set up where I was going to welcome in Kyle, and I was going to call Kyle a 0-time PGA Tour winner, and he spent 0 weeks. But we came in from an ad break, so I didn't get to use it.
So I think that Jason should petition Tom Lehman to you, because Tom Lehman spent 1 week atop the world golf rankings. He should petition Tom Lehman to give him his 1 week so that Jason can have a full year.
That might work. I actually saw Tom. Actually, he was following us at Augusta one time. It was actually this year. I saw him, and he was just walking around the crowds. I should actually go up and talk to him about that. That'd be
so. I saw him at Augusta this year as well. He was. I swear I saw this happen. He was collecting cups, and he was pulling cups out of the trash bins there.
Yeah.
Really?
And this security guard came up to him and was like, "Hey, what's going on here? Like, what, you know?" And he's like, "My wife wanted a bunch of cups from Augusta." And I was like, "What? I can't believe I'm watching this right now."
That's hilarious. You think that number one player in the world that could go and just get some from the merchandise area, but hey,
you would think so.
If they're free, it doesn't matter. She won't know where they're from, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
They were just cups from Augusta. Well, let's look at this week, Jason, because you are teeing it up in Connecticut. I imagine at this point in the week, you are full on in your process. Where do we stand on that? And we are recording this on a Tuesday, so this won't come out immediately.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, you're fine. So I got in Sunday, did all the testing, obviously came back negative. So I was out there on Monday, played backside on Monday. We had a southerly wind, which is what we're going to get. So that was a good indicator of, what to expect. And then I did some, I'm not quite happy. I need this shot around, at the Travelers Championship. I need this 3-wood low shot, because you use it on 15, you use it on 17. I'm trying to think. You can use it on 11, and you use it on 2. There's a few other holes where you can use this low kind of 3-wood, kind of like Tiger's 3-wood stinger. And so I wasn't quite happy with how I was hitting that. So I, obviously went to the range after that, worked on that. Putting has been kind of a up and down kind of year for me, essentially. And the greens don't look overly fast, but when you're actually putting on them, I think they're like 13, maybe plus right now. So they're actually lightning right now. So, and then today I played 18 holes, front 9 by myself, and then Joseph Bramlett joined on the backside, and John Pack, I believe is how you say his name. He's just a guy that finished, just finished up college, was a tremendous college player, and just starting his journey as a professional. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, John Pack's a good player. Finished, I think he was low am at Wingfoot last year at the U.S. Open. You mentioned the putting. I'm curious about that. You were the best putter in the world from 15 to 17, 14 to 16, kind of in that range.
Yep.
And I'm curious about your recent statistics. It has been more like your approach game has been really good, and the putting's fallen off a little bit. How hard is it? I was thinking about this in relation to somebody like John Rahm, who is just so seamless in every category. How difficult is it to kind of raise the stakes in every single category at the same time?
Right. Now that's a good question, because, if someone like John Rahm, who's, like you said, an all-round great player, that's the reason why he's number 1 in the world. And to a certain degree, Dustin Johnson had that number 1 spot in the world for a long time, because he was all-round as well. There weren't, like, if you look at number 1 guys that get to number 1 in the world, there's not many like weaknesses in their game. They're pretty solid all round. Getting to my putting, I think for the most part there for a little bit, I obviously was battling injuries, and through just trying to get through my practice routine and get through my putting, because I've always been known to putt for like 2.5 hours a day, just on my putting, that, I got to a point where with my back, I couldn't putt for more than 15 minutes. So, and then through just putting for 15 minutes, obviously the workload has come down, but then a lot of bad tendencies came in. And then, I was at the start of this year, I was at the Waste Management, and I'm obviously not having the greatest year, but like at the start of this year, I usually have a mirror down, and I've got 2 tees that I try and, get my putter through. I couldn't even get the putter through the 2 tees without hitting the tees every single time. So I had this massive in to out over the top loop. I was cutting across at 5 degrees. And from there, you just couldn't start it online. And if you can't start it online, then once that happens, you lose confidence on where you're starting the actual putt. And then when you lose confidence in that, then you lose confidence in the speed. And that, that's just really difficult to kind of catch up.
Yeah, I was thinking how the physical side of it would turn to the mental side. Were you finding yourself out there on the course knowing, hey, maybe I might not start this online, so maybe I have to aim differently? Or were you I mean, I can imagine the tricks it's starting to play on you.
Rick, man, I would stand there and go, okay, no, I know that I'm aiming straight. I just know because I could line it up kind of, because essentially I would have the ball, have the putter, and pick something just about 6 inches in front. I know I'd be aiming straight, and I'd have some people tell me that I'm aiming straight, but where I was aiming, my body position, I would look up and it would look so far right. So I'd be, okay, I'm going to shuffle left to feel comfortable. And every single time I'd start at left, and on left to right, I'd miss it high. On right to left, I'd miss it low. So then I'd go to the next green and go, no, you're aiming right. Just trust it harder and blow it through the right to left part. You know what I mean? So it's just really difficult to try and find that confidence. And it's amazing. Now I feel like I've worked on it a lot. The rhythm of my stroke got really, like, I got to the point where I've never been really technical with my putting. And I got to the point where I was so technical. I was thinking about how fast I need to take the putter back. And now I'm starting to see signs where, the rhythm's a lot quicker on the backswing. It's a lot smoother through transition, starting it online, and the speed's starting to come back to where it needs to be.
I want to make a kind of a hard right turn here. Congratulations, by the way, on your 4th kid. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I also have four kids.
I was going to say you're tied now.
And
gained kids right there.
Yeah, it's not pretty. So my question is about, so you take an RV to these different events, and this is something that my wife has kind of pitched to me that we should do. And I have pushed back against that. So I'm curious about, genuinely, like, when you go to the Travelers Championship, what is the best thing about using the RV, and what is the hardest thing that is just like, man, this complicates things for the week more than it needs to?
There's not a lot of negatives in regards to how do I say it? I think more things that come up that are stressful. It was, it's a moving house. Things can go wrong with it. But I'm actually on my bus right now, so I'm going to just turn you around. So this is I'm watching. So there you go. So that's the living area. I've got 2 couches there. That's a pull-out sofa, which is a queen. This is a futon. I'm at the dining area. I'm obviously watching England versus Czech Republic right now. There's a kitchen. And if I take you through, so I'm going to take you through. So this is obviously the fridge. Then I've got 2 bunk beds right here. I've got a toilet there. I've got my bedroom back there. It's got a TV back there. Then I have the washer and dryer. I have the shower and another toilet back there. So it's so nice to be able to just come back after. I'm only like 5-10 minutes away from the golf course this week, but I cook all my meals. I have the same bed. It's actually a nice place to relax. 4 kids and a wife on the bus is going to be very difficult to do. It was great with like 2, then 3 was like, oh, we're starting to get, and now 4, it's going to be too tight, I think. But I think you should do it. Just for a little bit.
There you go.
Okay, I'll let her know.
I like that. I imagine the consistency of it each week, not checking in and out of hotels and not knowing what you're getting. The idea that you have kind of the same thing is very helpful as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean, like I don't travel with, any luggage. I mean, I've got, all my stuff on here. It's literally like being at home, which is the biggest thing for me.
I love it. I want to go back to, you mentioned confidence a little bit, and I want to go back to 2015, 2016-ish, because this is an unbelievable stretch, Jason. Seven wins in 17 starts. Between 15 and 16, you won 8 times in 40 starts, 20%. Jason, we're talking Tiger-esque level stuff here. How are you feeling when you're stepping on the golf course, knowing that there is a very good chance you're winning every single week?
So you gotta, I mean, that's really, I thank you for that, because I need to think of that, about more of that stuff right now, especially where I'm at right now. I need to find the confidence in myself and the belief in myself again. But hearing stuff like that is refreshing. But you got to understand that, like, before all that happened, there was like little small wins along the way. So I remember going through 2 years and not drinking I love soda, right? I love Coke. I love all that stuff, Pepsi, whatever it is. I love all that stuff. And I love bad food. So there was a 2-year period where I didn't drink a single can of Coke. So when I would do that, I would say, no one else is doing that. In my mind, I would say, no one else is doing that. You're working harder than anyone else. Same as when I was eating, clean. I would just eat chicken and broccoli for every meal of the day, right? And then I would work out. I knew that the way that I was training, that like I was stronger than everyone. So like little small wins along the way just elevated my confidence more and more and more as the longer that through 2013, 2014, as I went through those years, I just started gaining a lot more confidence, knowing that I was doing the right things. And to be honest, it was about the direction that I had in myself and my game personally, and on the golf course. I had a lot of direction. And over the last couple of years, where I've had a swing coach change, my body hasn't been the way that it has, and I kind of been floating in and out and not having a lot of direction in myself, my game. And it's been refreshing to know that now what I'm doing on the golf course, I feel like I have a lot of direction. And to be able to look back on, what I did back in 2015, 2016, anytime I stood on the golf course, I felt so confident that if I was on my day, no one on planet Earth was ever going to beat me. I just knew it. Like, there was no one that was going to beat me. I just felt so good about myself. But that's just golf. It just goes up and down. You gain confidence, you lose confidence. I'm actually in a bit of a low right now, so I'm kind of just trying to find my way out of it. And but the biggest thing for me right now is to just tell myself every day that I am a good player. I'm trying to get back to where I was at. I've got good direction, and just be patient with it. But it's a funny journey, man.
Yeah. And I think that journey, just real quick on this, it's so to do what you were talking about for 15 straight years or 20 straight years, like that's it's so hard. Like as even as like somebody with 4 kids, I'm like, man, it is hard to like eat well every day, right? It is hard to get on the bike every day. So how have you tried to, like, how have you balanced, hey, I want to enjoy my life with my family and my friends versus, hey, I'm going to be psychotic about like what I put in my body and how much I go to the gym as I get older. How do you balance those two things as you kind of progress in your career?
That's a really good question, because how do I explain it? It's not like any other sport where it's so time consuming. Golf is like very time consuming, as in there's so many aspects, not only physically, but mentally as well. What you have to do for your body, because we're constantly playing. We don't have a short season. It's like the whole year round. And through 2013 to 2016, I had no distractions other than all I wanted to do was get to number 1 in the world. Yeah. Everything was selfish. Everything was all about me, and that's it. And obviously I had kids and stuff like that. But even when I'd come back from a golf tournament, and to a certain degree, I'm still guilty of it now. I'd come back from a golf tournament and I'd be playing with the kids, and I'd be there but non-existent. You know what I mean? Because my mind is thinking about golf. I'd go to bed sleeping about golf. I'd wake up sleeping about golf. What do I need to do? And right now, one of my goals is to get back to number 1 in the world. But, obviously I have another goal, which is kind of, self-mastery, trying to get, not only get to number 1 in the world, but like kind of have that self-mastery as an achievement. And I talk to my wife about it all the time. She goes, my wife is unbelievable. She sacrifices so much, not only for me, but like she takes a lot of, the stuff that I bring back from the golf course as well. And that can be difficult with four children now. But she goes, if you're not around anyways, you may as well try and do everything you can to get back to number one in the world. It's all about, I've been very lucky with the people that I've had, including my agent, my coaches, and all that stuff, my whole team now, for us to be able to, everyone sacrifice what they're doing just for me. I feel very blessed to have a team that I have right now, because, a lot of people out there want a team, and, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people that are, loving in that way.
Yeah. Jason, we are absolutely rooting for you. We're rooting for you this week, we're rooting for you next week, every week after that. Thank you so much for the time today. We really do appreciate it.
Rick, Kyle, appreciate it, mate. Thanks, guys.